Hello. So, after a few days, how's everybody been enjoying the update? Outside of all the bugs. I'm also talking about things, outside of, say, the Lambio TLC as well. The big noticeable changes. I'm talking about, the more obscure plays. Say, Sarko getting 33% increased stamina regen. Or perhaps maybe, the changes to Megalania's damage being increased by about 50% on its normal bite, on its weaker bite. Also, then doubling the amount of time it can sprint for while halving its stamina regen, which I like it. It's quite the rework in a way, kind of just shifting the goalposts on what they want it to do. Or perhaps the major change to playstyle for hats, which I actually really like quite a lot. With it being pushed, or should I say slammed, to the ground in terms of its fighting style for people who want to fight with it. A land predator with the capabilities of flight. That's how it should be. Or perhaps the ridiculous state of pounce-based Achillobata being able to kill 90% of anything that is able to pounce. So long as they don't have friends, of course.
I'm gonna kill it. It's gonna die.
Or even the ridiculous state of Anno right now. Hunker down, combined with the amount of AoE it has, is not okay. If you see an Anno, leave it alone. Just don't interact with it. Or maybe even perhaps one of the most ridiculous combinations that you can do in this game, thanks to all the team-based abilities.
Oh yes, everyone get to the get to the EO. Get to the stations, battle stations.
But why are these the things that I mentioned? Well, the reason is different fights, different dinos. Here's what you're getting. I hope you all enjoy the video.
Ah, damn it. I'm gonna kill it. It's gonna die. That's the funny part. Shred is just ridiculous right now. Yeah, it's dead. Yeah, I hit it like maybe 4 or 5 times with Shred. Yeah, it looks like just the actual model itself. Is it me, or is the turning better? Oh, it would seem that poison is broken again and not working. Yeah. Well, it's not decreasing my stamina. Uh, I'm up by the tree. Jeez. Oh. Yeah, I'm still chasing this Metri. I can't really, it's just faster than me. It shouldn't have better stamina than me, though. Yeah, I killed it. Oh, mate, I've got like 2 minutes of poison. Or 1 minute of poison. Does sleep even decrease it? No, sleep doesn't decrease the poison timer. Is that another bug, maybe?
Now, for a little bit of context in this clip. I've started a mini game whenever I play Sarko because usually it happens every single time that I play Sarko. And this particular thing is that you can see down in the bottom, I am full grab and drown Sarko. I grab whatever I can and I drown it in the river. Which, unfortunately for some players, a lot of the time it's going to be a baby dino, or, it isn't going to be an adult dino a lot of the time. So I have, started a little mini game for myself of, whenever I do manage to get a successful kill like that, I start counting how long it will take for them to, call me out and pretty much just location drop me. Because you all know how it is. I can't fight anything, pretty much. And I'm pretty much just waiting and slowly starving, hoping for something to pass by. And for anybody curious, this time it took 50 seconds. I know it's annoying, little Achillo, but hey, when you have a build like this, you kinda gotta take what you can get. But I will be damned if I don't enjoy the concept of the playstyle.
I'm sorry, Rex, but... Yeah. Anno's just dumb. Anno's just dumb right now. Yeah. Woohoo! Um... Oh! AoE! I do the AoE! Oh! Everything is going to die, yes.
So, you know how I said at the beginning of the video about one of the most ridiculous combinations I've seen in this game? First, I'm just gonna leave you with this example. And then afterwards, I'll follow up with what's going on, and yeah, hope you enjoy.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we're breaking some serious numbers today, boys and girls. We have Rally, Plotting Whispers, and all of the buffs from Lamb. Or the combat buffs from Lamb. The boss! Oh, the trike! Oh, this is a dying trike right here. Oh, you just cleave. Just cleave. Oh, what? 90% health, you say? Oh, but yeah, you just keep going. Swing. Swing. Swing, batter. Swing. Oh, that. I died.
So now, I'm here to actually explain what was going on there. And this is kind of a perfect showcase of how the devs are trying to push the game, as the amount of things and preparation you had to do what Guso was doing right there on his trike is ridiculous. So let's get into it. And so what you were going to need is one trike, one lamb, two optional, one Barsboldia, one Campto, and one Ramphorhynchus. And now here's where we do a little bit of math. Woohoo. So the charge on Eotrike deals 120 damage when it hits full speed. And then using sharpened horns for the Eotrike increases that damage by 30%, bringing that 120 up to 156. This'll be something that pretty much everybody who plays EO a lot will, well, obviously use, because sharpened horns, more damage, can't go wrong really. But now we have, Ramphorhynchus and Lambio in the game. So let's start off with Ramphorhynchus in terms of outside of what the EO can do alone. Ramphorhynchus has this ability called Plotting Whispers, which anybody that you pounce, you can gift them a nice little juicy 20% bonus to damage for 20 seconds. And, well, it works on everything. Everything. If you can pounce it, you can gift them this power. And despite Ramphorhynchus being a carnivore, it can still gift this lovely power to herbivores. So, now what are we dealing with? We're dealing with 120 damage from the charge originally, and then we have the 30% from the sharpened horns and another 20% from Ramphorhynchus's call. This brings us up to 50%, which, 120 times by 1.5 equals 180. That is ridiculous. But we are still not done yet, because with the introduction of, the combat calls and all that from Lambio and it doing what it does, we now have another 20% from the call to arms ability on Lambio. I'm not going to do the whole math and numbers on screen again because it's a little bit cheesy at this point. I've already done it twice. But either way, the number now has gone from 1.5 times damage up to 1.7 times damage, which now leaves our charge doing 204 damage. This will literally do a quarter of a Trike's health, or a Rex's health if it is not using Face Tank or, Deep Rumble. And now finishing up the damage additions with Campto's Alert Call, adding yet another 20% damage onto what was already 1.7 times damage, bringing that up to 1.9 times damage, at least for the first hit. But since we're going to be buffing up charge anyway, why not use it to initiate the fight? Bringing the already impressive 204 damage up to 228. That is ridiculous. And yet, after the alert call is finished and you've dealt your charge damage, at least then you'll still have the 1.7 times amount of damage to fall back on. And now for the final part, Barsboldia. Now, obviously, for anybody who uses Barsboldia a lot, it has Rallying Call, which increases its defense, and its groupmate's defense, by, basically cutting the amount of damage you take in half. In other words, you take 50% less damage. You are essentially, twice as tanky with this call up. You could also use the call from Rallying Horn on Lambio, which is also in the combat section. Just a little icing on the cake. But now we're going to get into how to actually set this up. Now, here's a warning, this is going to be fast in terms of setting this up. But, yeah. So, how we start off is that I was in the group with the Barsboldia, and what I would do then is activate Rallying Call, giving me the buff. I would then leave the group from the Barsboldia and join the group with the Campto and Lambio. They would then activate their calls, being Call to Arms from the Lambio and Alert Call from the Campto, along with the Lambio popping whatever other combat calls it has. I would then also use Sharpen Horns while also being buffed up by the Ramphorhynchuses. This now puts me at 90% extra damage on whatever I use. And then you go into battle. Of course, this all only counts if, you actually hit the charge. And I don't know if you all noticed, my charge right at the end cancelled. I think I might have hit max distance. But matter not, because hey, I can just face tank this EO, which charged me, and I'm still half health. Now, I will ask, pardon my gameplay, where I do not play Apexes very often, so I just got outplayed overall. But, now imagine getting someone who actually played EO, and you got a scary disaster right there, as you can see right there from watching that other EO get absolutely melted from just a simple face tank. And here is a visual representation of the health bars per hit from Goosa on his EO while under the effects of this, all these buffs, not just this buff. That was a ridiculous amount of stuff he killed. Now, for the last time, I want you to look at the bottom and see all of those buffs. That is ridiculous. But it tells a story, or it kind of tells me a vision of how the devs want the game to be. They want you to have your high power moments and your low power moments. They want you to have more buff-based battles, where instead of grabbing, say, 5 Rexes, 5 Eos, 5 Spinos, whatever, just a bunch of Apexes, instead, they want you to try and mix and match and get creative with different buffs, which is kind of what they've tried to introduce with the Lamb TLC, and all the different buffs and calls that they've given it. They want you to have customization. Yeah, just variety. And as to whether the community will take to it, I hope so. As, it's not like you'll be able to be this powerful all the time, will you? Because, hey, cooldowns exist. Along with the commitment of actually doing this kind of setup, instead of just, 5x apexes in, all working together, as usually you see already. Though it kinda means quite an even greater struggle for solos in this game, as, well, they don't get none of that. All they get is a silly little lone hunter or lone survivor. But these kind of, buff-based setups kind of lead away and push players away from the whole we're all working together, but none of us are in a group kind of setup. Because if you're not in the group, you are then objectively weaker. So how I came to this thought of doing this was that I usually always play Ramphorhynchus a lot, right? So obviously that has the Plotting Whispers giving 20% extra damage. And then I thought, wait a minute, Lamb has its TLC with all the new abilities and stuff like that. So let's see how far I can take it. I ended up sleeping on it while thinking about it, and then the next day, when we were on Juniper, or should I say I was on Juniper with my friends, they ended up just doing this out of as a joke, this setup. They didn't even, it just popped into their head and they just decided to do it. To me, because I ended up, thinking about it and then falling asleep, it was almost like a premonition. It's like I could tell the future or something like that. It's as if me thinking about it willed it into existence. Obviously, that is not the case, but it's just a funny thought in my head. But either way, I might be right in terms of the direction they're trying to take it. I might be wrong. Who knows? Only time will tell, really. It's just kind of a feeling I get looking at the state of the game and, the things they're adding.
Jesus. Fucking ew. No,
Well, all I've got to say is that this one was quite rough to make, but nevertheless, it was also quite fun at the same time. So, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all have a lovely day. Bye.